everyone. Now, in line with my previous video where we talked about the count function in the segment of aggregated functions, I would like to add a couple of other functions in the same context, which means for counts only, and those would be DistinctCount, DistinctCountNoBlank, CountBlank, and CountRows. Though these all are self-explanatory by its name itself, looking at the name you can understand what it actually going to do, but I'm just going to quickly cover them in this video so that we have better alignment. Now let me take you to the Power BI directly and help you understand this. So here we have table with 20 rows. Now I want to create a matrix where I want to see a particular product in how many cities those are being sold, which means here I got cities, right? Here, sorry, not cities, but the product line. Here I got the product lines. So how many product lines that we got? 1 2 3 4 5 6 product lines. Now I want to see, for example, electronics accessories, in how many cities this is being sold. So for that, what I exactly need to do is I need to have one measure. Not necessarily you required to create a measure to solve this particular problem if you are doing it really in your real life job, but because here we are understanding the DAX function, and for that purpose we would require to create a measure, and for that purpose only I'm going to create this. So let's go ahead and try to create a measure for that. So I'm going to say new measure, and as soon as we do that, over here I'm going to get the box, and into that box we would just type the function. First I need to give a column name, so I'm going to say test count, because here we are going to be testing the counts. All right, now the next thing which I want to do is let's try to use count first and city, right? And here I hit the enter. We should be getting test count over here. Here is what we got, right? Now I will directly take this test count and put that into the value, but before that let me make a little bit of adjustment so that it could be easy to see. Okay, now over here let me do one thing. Here in values I'm going to take test count and put that into the values. So what it exactly says is, for electronic accessories there are 4 cities, and same for food and beverages there are 3 cities. So is that really true? It is in fact saying that there are 17 cities where these products are being sold. Let's try to validate that. For that purpose, let's sort the data on product line, and for electronic accessories, if you see, these are primarily being sold in 3 cities only, which is this and this. Only 3 cities, right? But here it is saying 4 cities. And why is that so? For example, you see health and beauty, right? Health and beauty and etc. For all of those things. Let me take another example also over here. Instead of taking the city, now if I want to see all of these product lines, through what payment mode these product lines have been sold. So for that I'm going to change the to payment method. Okay, payment method. Let's try to validate this on payment method. How is that working? Alright, so what it says is electronic accessories is being sold through 5 payment methods. Let's validate it. So here it says 1 2. While you see exactly there are only 2 payment methods through which it is being sold, but here it says 5. In total it says 20 payment methods, which is not true, right? So how to fix that? For that purpose only we got this function which is called DistinctCount. So if I put DistinctCount, right, then what is it that we're gonna see? Let's just try that. So now as soon as you do that, over here for electronic cities you get only 2 payment methods, which is absolutely correct. Now you see over here, absolutely correct, because for electronic accessories you have only 2 payment methods, which is e-wallet and cash. So this is how DistinctCount helps us. Now the next problem statement which I'm going to solve over here is, for example, instead of payment, if I take city over here and if I try to take count of that, what is happening? Let's just validate it. So for electronic accessories I'm getting 4 cities, Do we actually have four cities for electronic accessories? It has 1, 2, and 3, and the fourth one it is blank. But here what is happening? It is counting blank as well. In the same fashion, if you see food and beverages, it is saying 3, which is true. Food and beverages, all right, it is saying 2, which is true, right? Because for food and beverages, these are 2 only. But if you take it for health and beauty, again it is saying 2. For health and beauty it is saying 2, while the truth is there is just 1. So why is that happening? How to fix that? So for that purpose we got another function, and that function is called DistinctCountNoBlank. Now if you try that, so what it will do is it will take the distinct count, but it will always exclude the blanks. Now let's just see that. Now what do you observe over here? For electronic accessories we are getting only 3. Why? Because the blank one is excluded. Awesome, isn't it? So this is how these 3 functions are going to help us separately. Now there is another problem statement. What if I particularly want to take the count of blanks? I want to see for each of the product line how many blanks are there. So how to do that? So for that there is another function which is called CountBlank. All right, now let's just try that. You see, for each of these 3 products there are just 1 blanks, you see. And this product, food and beverages, for that we don't have any blanks, so that's why it is not appearing over here. So you see how interesting it is. Now the next one is the simplest one, which you usually may like to have in your data, and that is to check the number of records in your table, how many total number of records that you have in your table. So for that I'm going to create another measure, though that can be changed into this only, but let me just take that separately. Count rows, row count. So over here it gives me the function which is called count and rows, and over here you don't need to give a column name. All that you require to give the table name, right? And just do that, and here you would have a measure created for that. Here is what I got. Now all that I require to check is how many rows are there in this particular table. So I can choose any visuals and I can just drag and drop this. Over here I got 20. So this is something which I would always like to have in my table. That's where I just thought of covering it over here. Now with this we are done with all the count functions. Now let's see what else that we got in the aggregated. So in aggregated we got this kind of functions where first one is average. So if you really understand fundamentally what average is, you would be able to understand what average A and average X will do. Same way in the exactly the same way we had count A and count X. Count A is to count anything, count X is to do the counting with expression. If you have not understood that, check out my previous video. So all the things, this is the reason why I was focusing on count, because count is something which provides a good range of varieties for the aggregations. And now anything else, for example, you see max, it gives 3 things: max, max A, max X. And in count also we have covered all these things. So fundamentally it will do the max, but in different criteria. Max A will find the max in anything, max X will find the max by a given criteria. So this is how I'm not going to cover other aggregated functions. I want to leave it on you, and I highly encourage you to try other functions in the aggregated one, and do let me know into the comment section if you face any problem, or specifically you would like me to cover any of these functions separately. I would be more than happy to make a separate video for that. Thank you very much for watching this video. Wish you very good luck and happy learning.